Annyeonghaseyo! Welcome to Afternoona Delight, where Leah, Megan, and Amy, romance novelists, and your K-romance guides. So grab some dekboki and listen to your new favorite unnies.
Hey everybody, it's Leah Riley.
Hello, it's Megan.
Hi there, it's Amy.
It's been a while since we've been together.
It has.
I missed you guys.
The two of you have been out having adventures.
I mean, I don't know how much of an adventure you can say West Palm Beach, Florida is, but I was there.
It's funny, I was on YouTube and I looked at our comments. Because I think the last time the three of us recorded together, I was in the Outer Banks, which, again, you guys asked me where it was, so I explained where it was. But one of the comments was they thought I was saying Outer Bangs, Bangs.
That's funny.
I think I'm so used to hearing Outer Banks, and it's a show that I
know that's why it's a show on Netflix. That's
right.
Why it doesn't.
But I'm I just assume everyone knows, and of course everyone doesn't know. Of course everyone doesn't know where the Outer Banks is.
No, that's true. They don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I was I don't know beaches in France. Of course people don't all know. But anyway, I just thought that comment.
What would Outer Banks look like?
Little fringe.
Just like the 80s,
little fringe.
Farrah Fawcett.
Yeah, when you blow it out. Those are my Outer Bangs.
But I missed you guys, so I'm glad that we're the gang's back together.
Yes, me too.
So today we are talking about a reality show. Amy's favorite. No, I'm just kidding.
I mean, it's funny. I have never been a reality show person. And I've definitely watched more Korean dating shows than I ever have Western dating shows. I've never watched a Western dating show. I've never watched The Bachelor. I've never watched anything like that, like Love Island. None of it.
Yeah. At least the setup of these is kind of different. So the show we're talking about today is Better Late Than Single, which is a reality dating show on Netflix that the network describes like this. Ready to step into the dating world, lifelong singles get expert help for style, health, and confidence. Will they manage hiccups on their way to love? Spoiler, no, they don't manage hiccups well, ever. So the show identifies singles who have no dating experience. That's important, okay? They have to have no dating experience. They give them a makeover, which often includes some physical changes, as well as therapy, speech therapy. There definitely is some mental health stuff that they do. But then they just toss them together at some beautiful location in Jeju and just tell them to do stuff. So
I want to make a pitch for just living like that, in our perimenopausal years. That is how we should be living, on a compound with our friends.
Agreed.
Why is it a thing? This is one thing I was talking about with my kids and my parents when I was in Florida, because they live in a 55 and older community. Why do only retirees get to live like this?
Right.
Where everybody rides around the neighborhood in golf carts, and there's restaurants on site and pools and fitness centers, and we should always have been living like that.
Right? Why aren't we all living in communities like that?
Give me the compound on Jeju right now.
I agree. It's very cute. It's really beautiful where they stay. This was a different location than last time, and it was equally as beautiful. And they're little cabins that they stay in are freaking adorable. I love it. We watched season 1 last year, and we recorded a podcast episode on it that you are invited to listen to. I actually double checked, and it aired on August 20th of 2025. So almost exactly a year ago. The gist of our reaction, just to sum it up, if you don't want to go back. In the beginning, we were actually completely obsessed. We were all in. We couldn't stop talking about it. We thought that this could possibly be the most genius show of all time. Until the show took a turn we did not like. So basically, the singles were left without any sort of guidance or emotional support. And that was season 1. So they didn't know what to expect going in. They hadn't like watched a previous season. They had no way to prepare for like what was going to happen to them. And then they were given zero support. They were left to flounder. Some of them were experiencing what like I would consider no less than a mental breakdown. And it was so hard to watch, and it felt really exploited. Like I remember I felt guilty that I was
Yeah.
watching these people have complete emotional breaks. I'm like, why? I don't enjoy this. This isn't
No.
fun. Yeah. And I know we all felt the same way because obviously we talked about it. We talked about it on the podcast. So I would say the show ended okay. It felt like they tried to like turn it around with editing. But I still like, I know I was still like rattled. I think we all were, because when we talked about it, we were all still kind of like just not pleased with how it went. In our podcast episode, we made several pleas and also suggestions on how to improve the show. So enter season 2. I have to be honest, I didn't expect a season 2. Did you guys expect a season 2? Especially because season 1 ended like with some of the contestants having to like make public apologies. Like it was wild.
I don't think I was not expecting a season 2, but I was expecting some big changes if there was a season 2. Like I figured my thought, well, all of our thoughts when we saw it was like, this is a revolutionary idea.
Yeah.
Something that we've never seen before. Like, let's take people who've never dated and put them on a dating show, and coach them how to date. And I feel like we weren't the only ones who had those kind of pleas at the end. And so my thought was, if it comes to a season 2, it's going to be a very different season 2.
I was I can't say I was surprised, but if you had asked me, are they going to have a season 2? I would have guessed not.
Yeah.
But then when they put it out, I was kind of like, but, you know, I mean, that's the way I'm sure they just like had contracts for like the hosts and things like that. And I'll be honest, the hosts have a different vibe than the Singles Inferno hosts.
Yeah.
But I enjoy the hosts. I would say that I like
do.
The hosts made the show for me yet again. Like I found myself like, yeah, I guess Singles Inferno has a different, I feel like there's like, I'm trying to just like, what's the vibe I'm trying to get at? Because both vibes are fun. Like they're friendly. It's not like they have a different, like they're not friendly.
I feel like they feel more accessible in this than in Singles Inferno, like the hosts do. Like I feel, I don't know, because I don't know how to explain it. Well, I mean, and I don't want to like give too much away, but like there was a very like emotional thing that happened towards the end of this season with one of the male singles, and I really like. Then we saw some vulnerability from one of our hosts from Car the Garden, like talking about like his history, and so I feel like we get a little bit more vulnerability, I would say, from the hosts in this than we do in Singles Inferno. Because Singles Inferno isn't about being vulnerable. You know what I mean? We're like the whole thing is about being vulnerable. So I feel like we get to see a little bit more from the hosts in their own vulnerability, which I do enjoy.
I think I was into Car the Garden and his like disclosure. Well, I was into it again. I'm going to just say that like some of the things he disclosed, I was like, oof. But then I'm also trying to give like social context and like whatever. Like I think some of the things, because, you know, he was, I don't think it's a spoiler to talk about it. Do you? Oh,
no. Well,
no, I just wasn't going to get into it yet, but yeah, go for it.
Yeah, no, I don't need to. We can bring it up later. But yeah, I mean, it was just like when you found out what some of the context was, it was like there was part of me that was like visceral, like your friends should never bring up like your weight or something like that. Like, ouch.
Right.
But at the same time,
yeah,
he's approaching it from like a pragmatic sense of like, this is my reality and this is like the world I'm operating in. And so like, well, I could be like, body positivity at any size, like there, and mean it genuinely. I also understand that like he's operating in a world that has different like, you know, different beauty standards and things like that. But I really like Car the Garden.
I do too.
I do too. He grew on me. So I didn't dislike him in the first season.
Yeah,
like, don't get me wrong. I loved him. But this season, I he tugged at my heartstrings. I liked him
Yep.
so much. I think there's something about him where he's really honest. He's really honest, and he's able to inject humor, but he's still able to talk about serious topics. And I
Yeah,
like that.
I don't think I found him to be all that genuine out of the gate. And
Yeah.
that could be a me thing. I don't know. Like if I just like, I'm willing to just totally own it and say sometimes, somebody's giving you their whole authentic self and you're just like, it's not landing for you. But this time I really felt like I was like, yeah, I just felt like I felt charmed by him in a different way. And yes, I guess Singles Inferno feels a little bit more like the production of it all, but I like it because you're watching kind of like a spectacle and there's something fun about it and they're good at what they do. But you're right. I think here there's like an element that gets just a little bit more raw sometimes. And I appreciated it way more than I expected to this time. And I just found myself with all of the hosts in general, just quite liking them.
I do. I like them. I like them all.
And Song-gook, like he like teared up at one point when one of the guys got really emotional, and I'm like, that was genuine.
Look, I want to be best friends with Eun-ji. Like I love her.
She is so fun. Whenever she like kind of does that like like yell, I love it. I love it so much. So I think the thing with me with the two different shows, it's hard not to compare, but Singles Inferno, it feels like more like a game show to me. Like there's a game to it.
Yes.
And also the hosts haven't met these people. Like they don't know them at all until they start watching the show. So the hosts for Singles Inferno their impressions are very similar to ours because we're just all just viewing the show. Whereas in Better Late Than Single, obviously that each, or if you haven't seen it, but each host has like a few singles that they meet ahead of time and they kind of talk with them a little bit. So there's a personal connection.
They mentor them.
They mentor them, correct. That's a better word. So I think too that there's like that personal connection, which also then like we feel, I think, as viewers.
Yes.
Yeah. So I appreciate that.
Because you see them rooting for their singles and you see them, you see the pride they have like when their singles do well and
or the disappointment when their singles fuck up, because that happens.
That's even better when they're just like, what are you? And I feel like we didn't give a shout out to my baby boo, Hana, who was from Scarlet Heart.
Yes. We love Hana.
From Startup. She's so good. And I liked her because I felt like she's a girl's girl and would get like outraged on their behalves and just be like,
yes.
That I like that too. She takes no shit from the men. I feel like she sees the toxic men immediately. Like she sniffs them out. And also off topic, but her posture is insane. Like I don't know, for some reason.
I'm like slouching right now. I know.
I know. For some reason, her posture really stuck out to me, and I was like, I want to be her. Like the way she sits is so proper and like pretty. It made me jealous. But okay. So season 2, which finished airing this week. So look at us for being timely.
Right?
So timely.
So did the show improve from season 1? Were any of our very good suggestions heard? We're going to chat about it. But first of all, let's introduce the singles. I just think it's a good idea so that we have a frame of reference for ourselves. We can like refer to the names of the singles, and also for like you listeners, so you understand who we're talking about when we mention them. So first we have Choi Hyuk-jun, 31. He is a marketer at a distribution company.
Then we have Choi Hyun-seo, gallery curator and anime fan.
And then we have...
Oh, sorry, she's 27.
Lee Han-ju, also 27, Korean medicine doctor.
We have Kim Jae-so, 32, game developer, and this says math graduate. I'm not really sure what that means, but he developed Battlefields, which I'm not familiar with that game, but apparently is extremely popular.
The rage. They were all like gay.
They were all losing
they found
it.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
He was probably a math major. I'm guessing. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Then we have Jun So-yoon, corporate employee and K-pop fan. Her bias is Jisung from NCT Dream. And she's so cute.
Yeah. I love that that's her bias.
Yeah.
Jisung is also an utter delight.
Yoon Jung Young, business student and homebody, 26.
An Sung Hyun, 30. He loves to hike and he's a dentist, which blew everyone away. The dentist, I will admit, this was shocking. This was shocking.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
That he
Absolutely.
was a dentist and has to like talk to patients shook me. Because he doesn't strike me as someone who had the best. He couldn't really look people in the eye very well, you know? But I don't know. Maybe he goes into full dentist mode and he's like, great.
Yeah.
And then Kim Soo-hyun, 28, and she is an art student majoring in Western painting.
And then there were 4 game changers. So what happened is they just weren't there on the first day. But I'm pretty sure 2 of them came the first night. Like this wasn't like they didn't, which I think is great. I don't like.
Right, the end of episode 1, we introduced the first 2 game changers.
Right. So it didn't take very long, and then I think the next day they introduced the other 2. So when we say game changers, they didn't come super late, which I actually personally thought was okay. I didn't mind that. At least it wasn't. What I dislike is when Singles Inferno waits like 3 days and brings someone on. I don't like that.
Or remember when they had the 2 different islands? Like that was crazy.
Singles Inferno, you're gonna be the death of me.
Yeah, no, I think because game changers, I don't know if they're cracked up to be, frankly. I am just I don't know why there's this like fixation with doing it, because I'm just kind of like, meh, it's fine.
Yeah. And the people who are the game changers, like they don't know what to do about it. Like they're just, they get interviewed for the show and then they're just told you're going to go a day late.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So we have Han Soo-ji, 26. She's a ceramist. How do you say that? She makes ceramics.
Ceramicist.
Ceramist?
There's only one ist. Only
that. Well, this is just like what Google told me. I don't know. That's
ceramist.
What she makes ceramics.
Ceramics person.
Yeah, which I would say she was a game changer. She did throw a loop for a bunch of people.
Yeah, she did. And then we have An Jung-un, another Korean medicine doctor. I love when everybody was like freaking out that we have like the 2 female doctors.
Yeah. The one was like, what if they get us confused? I was like, I don't think that's going to happen. Like, it's just because you both do the same thing. We have Kim Tae-hoon, 29, a public policy student. I will have words about him later. He was the worst. He wouldn't stop talking. So he was like, well, I'm not really an eternal single. And everyone's like, oh, really? So like, how long did you have a relationship? And he's like, for 50 days in middle school. And I was like, are we serious right now? Sir, you are 29 years old and you're holding on to a 50-day relationship in middle school? Look, what are we doing?
I feel embarrassed, but I feel embarrassed for him because I was like, just let that one go. Just save that in save that in like your like little treasure chest. But I don't think you like bring that out to like other adults.
It's not the flex you think it is.
Not on national TV. Not on international TV.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe our final game changer, Lee Jin-woo. He's only 26. He's like 5 years older than my daughter, architectural engineering student, and adorable tiny king.
And he was like, I'm also not an eternal single. And everyone's like, really? Well, what? Like, who did you date? This was probably the saddest story. It was sad because I'm pretty sure he was pretty sure he was catfish because he basically had this during COVID. He had an online relationship for an entire year and they never met in person. And then basically the person ghosted him. Yeah. And I just want to be like, buddy, they weren't this what I feel. I trust me. I relate. Like I feel it made me sad.
Oh yeah. I'm sure but I don't think he was admitting it like Taehoon as like a flex. Like he was admitting it like this was not good.
Well, he was admitting it kind of like he's like, this is how bad this is how
Yes.
bad I've my whole relationship history has been, is that this is my one relationship and it was all online for a solid year.
Right.
So let's get into it. There were a few different changes to the format. For example, the singles were given these 3 coupons and they could use them to give gifts to each other in their mailboxes. There was no alone overnight date, because that caused a whole bunch of issues in season 1, so they completely got rid of that. That was like the penultimate date, was like if you matched, you got this like alone overnight date. So yeah, they didn't have that for season 2. There also seemed to be like more mingling among the couples as well. I don't know if you guys also got that sense, but it seemed to me like they were really trying to like force them to have like more conversations with not with other people. I felt like
Just
they were
hang
really
out.
Yeah, I feel like they were forcing kind of like a more mingling, the producers, I mean. So yeah, do you have are there any other changes that you can think of that I didn't mention?
No, but I think the no overnight was if I had to say there was one smart move they made, because that to me in the first season was like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? I think there's still room to grow for them, but thank God they course corrected on that.
Yes. Yeah, I remember that was when I was like, I might stop watching. Like, this is when I feel like I needed to stop watching, was that overnight date. Like, that felt so uncomfortable. Everyone seemed uncomfortable with it. Like, that's what I just am like, why are we...
It feels like it would have been, like, it's like they looked at Singles Inferno and they were like, well, I guess we'll just kind of do some of that stuff. And I'm like, this is a different show. It's a different vibe. It's different people. Like, we treat this way differently. Mm-hmm. And I think like in the first season, they didn't set them up for success as far as like, I mean, I don't want to be doing criticism because there is a lot to like about this show, but I do think that like, I still wish that they had reflective coaching throughout the show. And I think that that would be to their benefit. Like, go on a date. It's like, I talked about it in the last time, experiential learning. Go do a date, come back and talk about it. Be like, what would you do 100%. Different next time? What are you going to take away? What are you going to leave behind?
Yep.
Yeah, I think we're going to talk more on that in a minute too. I did want to mention, I did really like the gifts in the mailboxes and and like the easy way to write letters. I thought that was another really nice way for them to like express themselves, because I think a lot of them do have a really hard time expressing themselves face to face. Like, I think Suji was the best one at expressing herself and being honest.
So cute.
I actually found her like, I was really impressed by her, that she could like look a man in the eye and be like, thank you for liking me. My feelings are not going to be stronger than friendship. And she was like super upfront. Like, I did really respect that about her. I think
I liked her a lot.
Yeah, I think a lot of the men should have done that. But anyway, so a lot of them did have problems with that. So I thought that the gift thing is nice. I will say, in future seasons of Better Late Than Single, put your fucking name on the letter. Why? Stop this. Stop giving people things and making it a surprise. It's not like that's a rule, because other people were... Put your fucking name on the letter so they know it's from you. God damn it.
Right. If you're going to give somebody a gift, if you're going to give somebody a letter, like, just let them know it's you.
Holy shit.
Because then, like, the game playing and, like, I liked, like, the coaches calling people out, like, on the game playing, because it's like, why? Like, this is why you're single. Like, it's the
and
game.
It's not Singles Inferno. You know?
There's no, like, what doesn't feel fair is that, like, we do that though, and then the coach, like, the things I wouldn't like is when the coaches would be like, why? And I'd be like, fair, but we're not getting in there and interacting, so we're just judging.
They should be talking to them. Absolutely.
And that judgment feels weird. Like, I don't like that part of the judgment, when I feel like it would be better to be more like educational. And it could be awesome for, I mean, it's like, I want more of a Queer Eye sensibility coming into it.
Yeah, and like, if this is
heavy-handed, not that heavy-handed, but like an element.
No, but if this is really only... Oh, well, they're together for a week, but then the coaches are watching after the fact, right? They're watching after it's filmed and edited. So I think that might be part of the issue too, is the timing of it. And I'm not excusing it, but it would require more time
Yeah.
from the coaches.
Totally.
And
I
if
do.
it's not going to be then, if it's not going to be the hosts, if the hosts are only going to mention them in the beginning, then let's get in some secondary coaches who are going to be there on Jeju with them.
Yeah, I
to
don't
have,
need the
like,
host to do it.
check-ins.
I don't need the host. And actually,
Right.
to be
That's what I'm
honest,
saying. Doesn't need to be them.
I don't really want the host to do it because I really think you need like fucking experts. Like,
Yeah.
I thought it was interesting. Like, Hyuk-jun had like he was like, I'm self-conscious about my voice. So they gave him like speech
Mhm.
therapy. I was like,
Yeah.
that's okay. Like these are things
I
that
love
are
that.
great.
That's awesome.
Yeah, these are great, but also that's it. Then you throw them in Jeju, you know?
Right.
I did think the Sparks house was sort of a dud. They had this like house where you could choose to, well, there was like different ways that you could get invited to the Sparks house, but basically it was just like another house that you spent the night in, but it's not like you weren't alone with a member of another gender because they would put like 4 in at the same time. So they would put like 2
Right.
women and 2 men at the same time. And they had like really good food. And sometimes the singles would make a big deal about it and I was kind of like, I don't think this is sort of weird. Like, I don't know about you, but I didn't really care about the Sparks house. I thought it was just a distraction.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm indifferent about it. Like, I don't think it was a monumental change, and I don't really care about it. So
Yeah, that's
it didn't like it doesn't further anybody's connections really.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It seemed like, see, part of me is like, maybe I should watch. Well, I'm not going to watch season 1 again, but it felt like there were more dates where you directly got to choose who you went on a date with. And it seemed like the
Yes.
singles also were more willing to like talk to other people. Like they seemed to be less fixated than season 1, which I thought was great. I mean, that's not a show decision. Although I think it was fueled by the fact that the show was forcing them, like there was more round robin stuff. There was like, okay, you're going to talk to everyone for 10 minutes. Like I thought,
Yes, I did like that, the 10-minute dates.
yeah. And I thought that happened quickly. That was like an early thing, which I thought was really good. So I feel like those were improvements.
Mhm.
Those were improvements.
Agree. But yeah, also agree that the coaching mentoring should still be happening throughout.
Yeah. And so that's what we're going to get into now. Because one of the big changes we wanted to see in season 1 was more coaching throughout the process for the singles. Watching these singles navigate like really unfamiliar territory for like 8 days without any sort of touchstone was so painful in season 1. I felt like some of those singles were having like out of body experiences. Like they were like losing their sense of self because they were just so wrapped up in this show and this environment they were in. They could not see like the forest out of the trees. What's the saying? What's the saying?
See the forest from the trees.
Thank you. Couldn't see the forest for the trees. I knew it was something. Anyway, so I remember we had like Leah had said, like experimental, like go out on a date and then let's come back and talk about how it went. That would be like incredible. Can you imagine
Should be debriefing after every single date?
the debriefing? Instead, they're debriefing with each other. So it's like
Right, you've got like the clueless leading the clueless here.
And well,
Yes,
here's the
thank you.
thing too. And I mean, I think we'll probably talk. I mean, I think that's a running theme for us.
Yeah.
Is something that was similar to last season to this season. Is I'm trying to think of like the word I want to use. The capacity of the women was just very different.
Yeah.
And so to me, I was never that shocked why a lot of the men were having a hard time kind of launching and getting into like relationships. And with the women, I was like, just date each other. Just pair up. Like, you're all good. Like, I don't know what, I'm sorry that like at this point, but like you're all beautiful, accomplished, interesting, socially adept for the like, you know,
Yeah, they really were.
Really, I'm like, I'm not seeing a problem. So I was just like,
the men were on the struggle bus the whole time.
just such a mismatch.
And this is the thing. If they just would have had someone, and I'm not even saying like you don't need someone holding their hand along the way, but I think there needed to be like they have this thing that's called like 5-minute the 5 minute library or whatever,
Yep.
where you can like win a key to go into this library for 5 minutes to read this
Yes.
book about your crush, which I still don't like. I still think it's kind of stupid. Like, I don't understand why you need to read a book about your crush. I think you need to go talk to them. So I think the 5 minute library, the entire thing is not my favorite. I just, whatever. Like, what if you had to earn a key to speak to like a relationship coach? What if you could earn a, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, I think they should just be having it the whole time, but I just mean, God, something where they're able to talk to someone, they're able to be like, I said this to her and this is how she reacted. And someone with good social skills can be like, I think I know what the problem was. And also maybe here's some ideas on how to like fix it. Because there's always like miscommunication. Um, but it's just, again, they don't do it. And it's so frustrating to me too, because some of these singles, especially on this season, because they knew what to expect. So I will say they were like less lost. Okay. They were not lost little lambs, at least this season. Um, they still could have obviously benefited from like some sort of help, but, some of them I think could have had these like amazing character arcs. And I know that they're real people, but like we do have character arcs. We learn and we grow. Um, and they didn't, and like Jae-soo, I thought he could have had kind of the coolest arc if you would have given him some like a storyline. Like you could have all these storylines of these people, something that they go to the show to work on. Like, hey, even if their goal is to be like, I want to be able to like look a woman in the eye. That they have like a simple goal, and then that's something they work on. Because I think what frustrated me was when Jung Yun. Okay, so he is 26. He's like the business student. Okay, so he is the youngest, I think. Oh, other than
And
Jinu.
Jinwoo,
Jinu's
yeah.
26. But Jung Yun, and he did kind of strike me as a little young. And I definitely got the sense that he just like doesn't get out much. And he was like, I came on this show to like to kind of like broaden my horizons and blah 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 blah. And I felt like that whole sort of like monologue could have been, and like he could have, because he's like crying. Like Suji had basically rejected him and it wasn't going well. And I felt like he was sort of just left bereft. And there was nothing to fall back on for him to be like, but hey, at least I learned some life skills. Here's
Right.
what skills I learned thanks to my mentor, so and so. That would have been, like, again, it's just so frustrating to me because I feel like it's right there. It's right there. And the show could be so good. And instead, they're just, again, plopping these people on in a compound and filming them for 8 days without investing in storylines, without investing in the people these are real people, without investing in these people who, like, how, like, you know, like some of their like initial interviews where they're like, this is why I've struggled to date. Like, how can you look that person in the eye and then be like, well, we're just gonna leave you alone for 8 days and you can figure it out? Like, I don't know. It's just like, it's almost heartless to me.
Yeah, I mean, going off what you're saying with like a character arc kind of thing, like imagine you end the show and you didn't pair up with somebody, but you come home with like this one new skill or this one new, like, sort of like way to interact socially. Like you're like, you know what? My match wasn't here, but I know now when I meet someone that I'm going to do this,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah. Like, I learned more about myself,
Yeah.
or, like maybe I thought my ideal type was this, but maybe it isn't. And like some of them, I guess, learn that, but it's such a whirlwind 8 days where they're so focused on trying to pair up with another person. And like, again, I said this, I think I said this in season 1. I just do not think that the goal of Better Late Than Single should be a final pairing at the end.
Agree. Um, and that's why I'm interested in the reunion for sure. But yeah, I do think some of the women like made that choice. They're like, I'm not going to pair up with somebody. Like, I know that and they were confident in that choice, where we had guys, kind of like, Jay So, who is like, basically what I learned is like, the problem is all of me. Like, I thought it was that I worked too much. I thought it was that, that my hair color, I thought it was this. And now I realize it's just all of me. And I was like, shit. Like,
Right.
no, it's not what we want out of this.
Is right. Like, I don't want that for him. I liked him. I thought he tried so hard to like bring everyone together. He was kind of like the MC, and he was trying so hard to create this like good atmosphere. And it's like, there's nothing wrong with you, man. And it's okay that's like no
But
one
like,
has
then,
to
I mean,
like you.
talk about like coaching though. Like, then he turns into like hurt people,
Right.
because then he tells, Soyoon, you're not going to get any other dates. So,
Right. Because he kind of like, in a way, I think he kind of, or I don't know if he lashed out. I don't
think it's lashing out. I think it's kind of like, this is my in a bad way. I think it's like, this is my last ditch effort.
Right.
To get her to notice me.
Right.
And that's not the way you do it. You don't tell a woman nobody else is going to want you, so you may as well want me.
I know, right?
Like,
What
that's
a
never
sexy sales pitch that is to get.
Yeah.
And it's so, and that the thing is, then they could have debriefed, and they could have said,
yes.
"Do you realize how this sounded?" And he would have been like, "Fuck, you're right. Shouldn't have
like, play it back. Make them watch it.
Yeah, make him watch it, and then be like, "This is a learning experience. This is how you grow from this." So then he would have left and been like, "Okay, so like I'm a better version of me or something." Instead, he was barely in the last episode. Like, I was like, "Where'd he go?" They didn't show him because, again, they were so focused on the pairings, and I don't give a fuck about the pairings.
Right.
I actually don't. It drives me crazy. And the thing is, I don't want to say like I didn't like the show. I want to make it very clear. I did like the show. And if I didn't like the show, I wouldn't give a shit about improvements. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I would actually not care.
We're not saying we didn't like it. We're not saying we didn't like the contestants either, or the singles, whatever you want to call them.
No, I feel like it fits.
We don't like how they were treated.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so I think we're going to be talking about like, some of the like cultural aspects of the show. And I do know that like from the Patreon, Sarah from Afternoon asks, I'm assuming we'll potentially, I don't want to give them work to do, but she and Grace seemed pretty into the show, and they might be doing something different and having a different lens to view it on.
Mm-hmm.
But something I would just talk about that I think could have fit just well as a cultural theme on the show is this idea that like, I do think that there is a value of like mentorship and coaching, and even kind of like that element of like kind of like professional makeover and things like that seems to be very like embedded like respectfully within kind of like what would be norms of Korean culture for me as an outside observer looking in. And so I'd like to see that leaned into more, because we're even calling the hosts coaches.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I understand your contract might be that you interfaced with them for like one time and then like, we're here for the show. But it's just like, again, that's where I'm not saying Queer Eye the show, but there is an element of what Queer Eye is doing as like a holistic kind of like thing of like going into, like, because you know what I'm saying, right? When I'm talking about saying Queer Eye the show, of like, I don't want that coach is just there hovering, and like, I don't want it to be like,
but have somebody there on Jeju with them that's going to be like their check-in.
Yeah, or even come in like once or twice and just, it doesn't have to be after every single day. I mean, I'd love it if it was. I'd love it if that happened, but like just a little bit more. And I feel like it would have just brought it out more richly, because I think that like we gave lip service to it, but we didn't still see it substantiated. And that's where the interest, I think, because we're exploring relationship anxiety. We're exploring the results of social isolation. Mm-hmm. We're exploring how like intense focus on career and education and meeting these like high societal standards can like delay or like make it so that you're not having some of these connections, even though you're desperate to have them. And so, I mean, that's all the stuff I'm super interested in, would like to have seen more of. And I think it would make the show feel more heartful. And right now, I think it feels better intentioned than last time. I trust the show more for what it wants to do. Like last time I was worried, are we just going into like exploit Olympics? And we're not. I don't think that's what the show wants to be.
I don't either. But
I think we could continue to develop more in this way that's going to feel really impactful, not just for the people involved, but like people watching at home who could be like getting more tips and tricks and thinking about themselves.
Think of all these other people who also have led similar lives. They've invested everything in their career. They went to same gender schools, so they didn't interact a lot with people outside of their gender.
Yeah.
And so like they could see themselves in these people, and they could also learn from it. And so
Right.
um yeah, was there any bit of Korean culture that you learned about in this season? And I'll just say the reason I put this question was because I didn't. It actually was a conversation with Hyukjun and Hyunseo where they realized they were 4 years apart, and they said how that was like a dream age gap in Korea, and I've never heard of that in my life.
Oh,
Yeah, they were like, "Oh, that's like that's like the ideal." They called it like the ideal age gap, and I was like, "Huh, did not know that. Never heard about
I
it."
didn't either.
Yeah.
I mean, also speaking of age gaps, I also find it interesting. I mean, I get there's that age is a big, age is a big deal no matter which way that it goes in Korean culture, and that, you show respect to people who are older than you.
Mhm.
But it really comes into play a lot in dating, especially when the woman is older. And that was one of the issues with Jinu, and who's our doctor, Jung-un,
Mhm.
because he really liked her, but she really liked him too, but she's like, I just don't think I can date a student
Yeah.
right now,
Yeah.
and there is, I mean, like, being a student and you're going to be a professional eventually, but there is definitely um a difference when you are like a practicing, doctor,
I
um
know.
and then you're still in school. And
Right.
so I don't know if that's like entirely Korean, but I do know it's less common for an older woman to date a younger man
Mm.
than vice versa.
Mhm.
Um and so yeah, just to see that kind of play out, because they don't know each other's ages right away. That comes later. And she was 30 and he's 26. So, and she's, out in the world being a professional, he's still in school. And so
And this is
that's
where I also think about like the military and what the effect the military has as well, because
they end up later in school.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so then we have this thing of like, well, and I was just like, man, I can also see, and then that starts to build this resentment of like, I've got to, like, I was just like, am I seeing some of these things that build these kind of like foundational resentments? And then you're looking over at like the women who are like, I'm balling in my, like, I didn't have to stop and do this whole thing and like take
Yeah.
2 years and step away. So for me culturally, I don't like, just one thing, I think for me, just what sat with me a lot this time that I don't think I had like fully appreciated. Like last time, I think I was really caught up in kind of like participants and kind of like their neurodivergence. Not to say that wasn't that didn't have anything to play here, but this time, what I think struck me more was just that idea of that social isolation that seems to be, not just in Korea by any stretch, but like it is a phenomenon that is happening like all over, but like it seemed like it was really honed in on so many of the people in the show of just this extreme introversion, and like the lifestyles was centered around being indoors, being solitary, um and relying on like, you would have like, if you wanted to do anything, you would be like maybe a blind date or something. But like, yeah, it seems like these worlds are very insular and inside and alone. And what's interesting to me, and I'm just talking to talk now, but like, this is where I'm trying to look through a window into a world that's not my own. I can say that I see this here sometimes with like my kids know, and I'm not saying that to be like, it's just different. And sometimes I wish my kids were home more, but like I see it a lot with younger people. I see it a lot with college students on campus where like there's a lot of people, and I see it a lot with international students. Like the most with international students. And again, you're probably in America, you're like, what the fuck? It's crazy here. There's a lot of differences. I'm going to be home and I'm going to be very alone and isolated. But one thing that jumped out at me too is that while I'm saying that, when I was in Seoul, there were times where I was like, these urban connective spaces are wild. Like they are so good. Like you go to the park, like I can't wait to go with you guys at some point. And I'm just like, it just feels like I'm out with like the city. Like I never felt lonely. And again, I was a tourist walking in, so everything felt
Right.
very idealized. So I guess what I'm trying to say was just like I had this perception when I came as a visitor and was there for 3 weeks, which is not a long time. And I was just kind of continually being like, they had the library nights with the books and the things out and like these pop-ups everywhere. You would go down by the river and it was just like tons of people, just like highways of people walking or hanging at the beach. And like the creek area was just walk, walk, walk and people, people, people. And it just felt like you were in community all the time. And I really liked it. But then I had to be like, watching this made me be like, but there's this whole underlying thing here of like, of isolation and, you know, anxiety and introversion happening. And so I'm seeing these like and again, that's a shallow lens to look at the show and like, but like it's a lens, and then being there for a short amount of time is a lens, and then they're incongruent. But what does that mean? It means I'm seeing different windows of it. So I just found that to be interesting.
Yeah, no, thanks for sharing that. Okay, so we're gonna throw out just a few superlatives. Which single of any gender you'd most like to date?
Suji.
She was fun, wasn't she? And she
I
can
loved
make you
her.
ceramics.
I really did. And I wanted to hear her speak in her British accent more.
She did have a good accent.
I love that she, you know, she studied abroad and she studied so she, you know, split time between the UK and Korea. And when they were doing like her interview in the beginning, and it was just really fun to hear her all of a sudden break into English with a British accent.
I actually said this in our chat, like while we were watching Better Late Than Single, but I said Hyun So, Choi Hyun So, the gallery curator. I loved her. Her voice was so soothing. She had this way about her where I felt like she just never took anything too seriously, but it also wasn't in a too nonchalant. Do you know what I mean? I just feel like she would have been a good balance to my personality. It's funny because in Korean dating reality shows, they're always like, "What's your MBTI? What's your MBTI?" That's like kind of how they want to identify each other. For me, I'm always like, "What's your sign? I want to know what your sign is." I want to know what Hyun So's sign is so bad. I gotta look up her birthday because I'm so curious. I'm so curious.
Do it while we talk. That's funny.
Yeah. But it's funny. I'm like, I mean, I want to know your MBTI, but I also really want to know your sign.
I like that she's an anime fan too.
Yeah. Me too. I'm sure I could get her to watch some BLs. We could watch some manhwa. It'd be great.
So for me, it was Taehoon.
No, it was not.
No, it was not.
No, it was not.
Fuck no, it was not. I was like, take me out and put me in a burlap sack and drown me.
Right.
Let me think about it for a second. Like, I think it's a really good question. And like honestly, I'm gonna go heterosexual here, which is a surprise to me because I will say that in general, the women to me were just a much higher caliber.
Right. They were.
If I had to go with my real favorite, it would be Hana, but I can't pick a host. So I'm going to I'm just gonna go with, I was so charmed by Jinwoo. Jinwoo really got me.
Same.
So I'm going with Jinwoo, even though I would say that as a whole, the ladies were just like of a high end caliber, no notes. He just was like this, like he just like grew on me, and I was like, little buddy, like I would totally go.
I know that my problem is that he's 26.
I felt like he felt like he would be in Lord of the Rings too. He felt like he was a hobbit or something. Like I felt like he was like would have been like one of the Lord of the Rings characters, and it just felt very heartwarming.
You know, he was the only one so he had a way of like looking at the women that was like, it made me kind of have like belly flutters. Like he was the only male contestant that had any sort of sex appeal to me. Like, the rest of them left me so dry. But like,
so I mean, I would say a lot left me like hurt. Like I was like, oof,
right,
oof,
right.
But like, and then some I was just like, oh.
Yeah, Jinwoo had this like the way he looked at like I did also really love Hanju. By the way, I want to go drinking with Hanju. I thought she was a lot of fun.
She was fun, and they were always so worried when she started drinking. The coaches were like, "Oh,
I loved it.
I was like, She's fun. She's
She
like, and then she's like, I've got no one to clink my glass with.
I know. I was like, girl, I'd do it. Oh my God. I would, if I, God, she looks.
I was watching
So I'm cracking up because I have like a Marie Claire article open just so I can have pictures of everybody, and they've got her tilting back a glass of wine.
Oh my God, Hanju, a poor thing. They like really pegged her. But anyway, yeah, but the way he looked at her, I was like, damn, okay, okay. Like I just he was the best of the bunch.
He
For
was
sure.
by an
Yes.
for what I would say our sensibilities would be.
Yes.
Correct.
And he was
from our
and
lens.
He was a sweetheart and sensitive and
I thought Jung Yoon was sweet. I think he seemed like a young 26. Like, does that?
Yeah.
He
There
seemed.
were
agree.
some of them were earnest and sweet, and some of them like I felt like they. I mean, they're not going to listen. I'm always like, are they going to? Am I going to like cause harm? And they're going to listen. They're not going to listen, so it's okay.
Yeah.
But like, I'm trying to think of like, I just blanked on. What's his name? Jaso. Like,
Jason.
I'm like, first of all, he had aura, gray and beardy.
I was like,
it.
keep the gray in the beard.
I was like, grow it back.
I was like, do you know what you need to, I went to my buddy, do you know what you need to do? What you need to do is you need to get that aesthetic, and then you need to come to the Bay Area, and you will fucking bang it out.
He'll kill.
You're gonna have that big gamer money.
Yeah.
And you're gonna have that like daddy vibe.
That's
got
the thing. He
kill.
has a lot of money too. I mean, he has. You know?
So I was like, you will kill if you do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, I get it if like you're not hitting a standard that like the soul dating scene might like. But I was like, you have this like gravity. And like when they styled him, he was cute. But it was kind of like when the Beast turned into the Prince.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're like, give us back the Beast.
And I'm like, no, the ladies like the Beast.
Yeah. I liked the beard. I liked the gray and the white. I liked it all.
It gave Sadik like baddie.
His hair was constantly like sprayed back.
Yes.
I mean, poor Jaso. Like Car the Garden's talking about how they had to re-dye his hair like during the 8 days.
Which
like let the guy go salt and pepper.
And
let him have the beard. Like don't put the makeup over his scruff. Like that is working for him.
See, I think that's part of the
I feel
problem
like
too.
it made him. I think it adjusted how he behaved.
Yeah, and his makeup was not good, and I don't blame him for that.
No.
Like I'm like, just let the man be himself. Why are you caking makeup on his jawline? Like I was like,
when he shared his makeover, and then they flashed back to like him sitting at the computer clicking away on his mouse, I was like, guy had it going on,
right?
That's like the first time I saw him. Even they were all the hosts were like, damn, like that guy, like unusual choice, but like okay.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at Car the Garden, and I'm like, Car the Garden is cute. Yeah. Like I would date Car the Garden.
Yeah,
I find him attractive. But if you shaved him and tried to like slick him and turn him into like a city boy, I'd be like, that's not going to work. Like I don't think I would be attracted. But like what he's working with now, I'm like, I like it.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think they took his like core aura.
I think they did.
And then chucked it. I think personality-wise, not a match for me. But I thought at the beginning, I was like, "Oh, damn, you're fine." And then was like, "I don't know what we did."
They shaved his aura.
They shaved his aura, and I do think that messed. I think it messed with him.
I think it did too. Because then he was trying to be this other persona, and I think that's what made him kind of too talky and too kind of like he just kind of felt like he was in that like, and it's off-putting when someone's not in their authenticity and they're in that kind of thing, and so people were just like, "I'm good, dude."
Yeah, you're right.
He was a bit. I mean, and this is again where the coaching would come in, like mentoring, like during the show, because he was a full-on tryhard for like the whole 8 days.
I know.
And then he broke down because what he got from that is I'm not good enough.
Right.
And which is not true. Nope. It's not true, Jasa. Like you were good to begin with.
Yeah.
You were come as your gamer, come as your gamers, come as you are.
Yeah.
I was like, you're probably like you're zaddy, rich. Like there's like you've got to you have a product that you work on that like everyone knows and is like, and like gaming's such an embedded part in so many places. Like people are gonna be like, damn, and you were part of like ground floor. Like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
Like you've got aura. like it should have just been a no win. Like give me him to coach,
Right.
and I will have a line around the block.
I
That's what
know.
like with him. I was like, let me coach him.
Ugh.
Yes, actually, I hope you are. I hope you are listening, Jaso, because when Car the Garden was like, sometimes people need to hear hard truths. I'm kind but firm, and I will tell. Like, yeah, it is not. You are not in deficit. You just need to.
Right.
You're like a little lump of marble that is like high end perfect, and we just gotta carve you right up.
Yeah.
So you contact Afternoon of Delight, baby. I will personally coach you, and you will. Yeah,
Flourish.
you'll
You will
flourish.
flourish.
You will we will move from resilience and like we will be in thriving. That's my sales pitch. Just market it.
I like
Get it
it.
on social media, pay ads. We'll find him. Just keep tagging background or whatever that fucking game. I don't even play the Battlefields. I don't even know the game. I don't need to know the game.
Yeah,
I know enough. I know enough to see. I saw the look on everyone else's faces to know.
Same.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel like we might all have the same answer for this one. Single you'd least like to date.
Girl. What like did they just bring him in to be like they had to have known.
Kim Tae-hoon, whatever you are, some sort of student, 29, you're the fucking worst. I'm sorry. I hope you are listening because you were the worst. So here's
Why
the
was
thing.
he there?
I don't know. I don't think he wanted to be there. I'm like, why did you even come? Why did you come?
You were like a little rain cloud that just made everyone feel bad.
When he had the double date with the two women in the bar, Soo-hyun, which frickin' angel, she's the art student. She also super fun. I would love to be friends with her. What, like, girl, what are you doing even? Like, this guy is not fit to lick your boots. Like, truly, girl, you are levels above this man. And when he was on that double date with Soo-hyun and Suji, and they started like kind of like talking and like about future and blah, blah. And then he's like, everyone just chill. Just chill. I truly cannot tell you how I wanted to reach the screen and throttle him. Like, what do you even do? What are you even saying? Like, it's like as soon as any conversation required more than one brain cell, he couldn't handle it. Or more than one like emotional like level. You know what I mean? I couldn't stand him. And he was mean. I think that was the part that got me. I felt like he was actually mean.
That's what I'm saying. He was like, it was nasty.
Yeah. I feel like I've never seen a contestant even in all of Singles Inferno who was mean like him.
And what were they like? I guess like going in, did he give a different vibe? And so they were like, no worries. And then they were like, but at some point I'm like, I guess I feel protective because like you're coming in here in some ways, like it's vulnerable, I would imagine, to be like, I'm an eternal single. Like you are in a place where like, even if you're feeling like cool or, you know, you're a dentist or you're a Korean, you know, doctor of Korean medicine, whatever, and you're like professional, like you're founding giant video game companies, like you're here being like, I don't got game somehow. For some reason, I don't have game. And that's not like an awesome thing to admit in the world. And so we have this like premise of vulnerability. And I would like to think just like a baseline of like, this should be kind. And then like for this, I was like, what? Like this was a miss for me in the casting. And so like, did he misrepresent or what? But like, he just, I was like, why didn't they ever pull him aside and be like, I mean, like, I guess once the show's going, they're like, this is drama, but it felt bad.
It did. Yeah. And also he had no charm. So he was mean with no charm. Like, I was like, throw this whole man away. Like, I'm sorry. And I think that also could have been a cool storyline. If someone would have been able to debrief with him and been like,
you're a dick.
That was mean what you just did. Do you want to talk about it? Like, and how do we move forward to make sure that like you're not hurting feelings? Like, how are we doing that? You know, I still don't know when Soo-hyun chose Taehoon, I thought I was going to lose my shit. And I think the host reaction was the best because they were all like, what the fuck? And I think Hana was like, her mom's going to kill her. Her mom's going to be like, why would you do that?
I did like her reaction though when he didn't show up.
Mhm.
She was like, "Ah,
She should, because she deserves so much
way
better.
better."
She is so sweet.
Well, she thought this was a real thing.
I know.
And so, like, was he just using her? Like, what was it?
I don't know, dude.
Because
I feel like he I feel like he's the kind of guy who loses interest as soon as somebody has interest in him,
Which is the
which is
biggest
gross.
ick. The
Yes.
biggest freaking ick. I don't know.
And that's not too far off from what was going on. Well, I mean, like, I feel like with a little bit the opposite, because I was going to give an honorable mention to Hyuk-jun, who I liked in the beginning, and then he just turned into anybody who gave him attention he liked.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that was painful to watch.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. So even though, I don't really care about the couples at the end, but we're going to talk. We're going to talk about there were two couples at the end. Hyuk-jun and Hyun-so really kind of mended. They kind of like were together and then came apart and then found their way back to each other.
I mean, she waited for him and he dated everybody else.
Yes.
That's
She
what
was
happened.
like a 10 out of 10 baddie.
He
Like, to
thought-
me, I was like, you're one of the most gorgeous people I've ever seen in my life. What are we doing?
She was stunning. Her clothes were great. She had a cool job.
Her cool little scarves.
She's so
Ugh.
pretty. She's one of the first ones that I was like, she looks like she's Hana's sister. Like, she's beautiful.
Stunning. And Hyuk-jun was just like, I don't even know what he was doing. I don't even know what he was doing.
I just felt like he'd never had attention in his life, and he let it go to his head.
I agree. That's probably
Because he
what
was like all like, woe is me, I wasn't feeling well, and she didn't notice and she didn't say anything. And then immediately after that, she's like, oh, this person likes me, I'm gonna like her. Oh, this person likes me, I'm gonna like her.
Yeah, his like obsession with like the gift giving thing also was really odd to
Yes.
me. Like he was like, if they gave me a gift, she gave two men a gift. I didn't like it. I'm like, okay. I mean, they're made with coupons. Like I just don't even. It was a little odd. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I thought they got. I do think though at the end, Hyuk-jun and Hyun-so are compatible. And then the other couple was Hanju and Jinu, which that's sort of interesting because they sort of came together at the very end. Hanju had kind of always been interested in Jinu. Jinu was interested in Jong-un, but the Korean medicine doctor. But when Jong-un basically was like, this isn't gonna work for us. Jinu's like, okay, well, I'm willing to like get to know other people. And him and Hanju kind of had a last minute connection.
They did. Do you know who else Jinu reminds me of? He gave me Tom Holland vibes.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100% Tom Holland vibes. Speaking of which, Spider-Man, I'm seeing tomorrow.
But I just felt like there was something really lovely about him, like having a little bit of disappointment and not fucking getting derailed. Like he was the most evolved in terms of being like, okay, I get it. I also get it's not that deep. Like I can have a little crush. It's not going to work. Who else is awesome that I could connect with potentially? So I don't shut doors and be like, my one relationship was a middle school person I talked to 14 years ago, and our pinkies touched once.
Freaking
I was like, thank you for just like, it felt less stressful. And I was just like, good, this is like a healthy thing to be like, that just ended up not being a vibe. I'm not going to be gross or weird or clingy or sad or guilty or mad. And I'm going to just like find something else awesome.
Well, I liked it. And I thought he was respectful to Hanju.
Yeah.
I think he was like, okay, you know what? It is really fun to talk to you. I know this is kind of like the end of our time here, but like, let's talk. Like
and like, what a good thing to be like, ideally we're going to talk outside of this world. And so like, let's make a connection and we'll see if we want to chit chat and connect more once we're out.
Yeah. I mean,
cool.
so look, here's the deal. There's a reunion special. It airs Saturday. well, it would have already aired by the time you're listening to this.
Right.
Yes.
We're
But we're
recording this
recording-
before it airs.
We're recording before. I'm gonna watch. I am absolutely watching because it looks. Look, I'm the like previews they have for it. It looks massively entertaining. Okay. So I would like to know, we would like to know if you guys would also like us to talk about the reunion episode, because I feel like I think there's going to be a lot of material. So if that's something you guys want to listen to, please let us know wherever you want to, YouTube, Instagram, on our Patreon, and let us know, because we can record about that as well. So yeah, I guess overall thoughts, would you watch another season?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
probably
would.
I would.
I actually am
Because I have hope. I have hope. Like it got better
It did.
this year.
It did.
And so I'm hoping whatever we're putting out into the universe that they're going to catch on to that. Because I really just want to see the continued coaching / mentorship by any sort of professional that can help them do that. It does not have to be the hosts. Let the hosts watch them, like get extra mentoring. Like, I just want to see that.
Yeah, always. I mean, honestly, I'm gonna watch the next Singles Inferno too, but I almost think I like this better.
There's definitely more depth to it. There's more depth and vulnerability to it. Like Singles Inferno feels more like you said, like a game show, like a competition, where this feels like
But I will say I was
people
kind
actually
of
learning.
I was only moderately interested in the show. I will say. Like I was never like, "Oh my god, I am
Same.
loving this." Next one. I'd be like, that's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, watch
Also,
it. Yeah.
I was gonna say to add on to that, because neither was I, and one of the big reasons why was because each episode was 90 minutes.
These do not need to be. What are we doing?
No.
They do not need to be 90 minutes. I don't understand.
10 episodes that are 90 minutes. We don't. No.
Yeah, I think, this is the thing for me with Singles Inferno right now, is that the last few seasons have also felt like it's to get famous. So it's to grow their Instagram followers, then they get brand deals. So it feels less about, and also then I feel like some of them are kind of like doing antics in order to get more screen time. Because the more screen time they get, even if they're like not liked, they can still benefit. And so that's the way Singles Inferno has felt for me lately, which really takes the enjoyment out of it. Whereas Better Late Than Single, still, like, that is absolutely not the vibe I get from these people. Like, these people seriously want to go on this show because they want to learn how to date. They want to try to meet someone. So it feels way more authentic than Singles Inferno has lately. I don't know how
Singles Inferno's Instagram fodder. Essentially, it's like influencer fodder.
it is.
Yep.
It is, and they all feel like real wealthy now. Like they're all super wealthy. Part of me feels like they're buying their way onto the show now, and I don't know.
I know whenever we find out their jobs, it's like, I'm a model, I'm an actor,
Yeah,
these are real people at least.
they are. They're real people, and it feels more authentic. I mean, it's a freaking dentist.
And I'm glad they didn't get into bed with each other and have to write an apology letter and feel
thank God.
embarrassed. Like, that was stressful.
That was so stressful. I felt so bad for them.
Me too. I didn't like it at all.
No.
I felt complicit in like hurting them.
Me too. That's the thing. It's like, I'm not going to watch this and feel, I don't want to watch something like this and then feel bad about it. Like that's insane. Like the whole point of the show, I think, is to like come out of it like feeling like these people grew and like hope and whatever, but that didn't happen in season 1. So I did come out of that a little bit more in season 2. I still kind of didn't feel great about the ending for some of these contestants and their time on the show. I don't know, man. Can they just listen to us and do some of our changes? Like, why?
I know.
Okay. So anyway, let us know if you want to hear more from the reunion, and we will probably record on it anyway.
I was gonna say we might have already recorded it by the time this airs. So
anyway, let us know.
Your answer might not matter.
Yeah, let us know what you think. Let us know some of your superlative answers and if you agree with us about Tehu. All right. Well, that's all for us tonight. So thank you for listening, and we will see you next week.
Annyeong.
Annyeong.
감사합니다. Thank you for listening to Afternoon of Delight. Where can you find us outside the pod? Head on over to afternoonadelight.com. That's AFTERNOONADELIGHT.com. You'll find links to all our social media, our book recs, K-pop and K-skincare recs, and if you want even more Afternoon of Delight, because really who doesn't, you can join our Patreon, where you can choose the patron level that's right for you. Join in daily K-drama conversations, listen to bonus podcast episodes just for patrons, and participate in our monthly live K-drama support group via Zoom. We can't wait for you to be a part of the community. Until next time, annyeong!